Good morning, everyone. It's so good to see you, and thank you for carving out an hour to spend with us today about recording your instruction with Screencastify and Loom. And I also have a few others we'll throw in there if we have time. My name is Beth Clarke, and I am the Senior Director of the Digital Leadership and Learning Center of Excellence at CISA 2. And I also have Valerie Schmitz, who is going to be helping moderate the chat today. So she is also from CISA 2, and Mitchell Lilly, who will be supporting us as well. So as we begin, I always like to start with a few logistics on Zoom, always modeling, right, as we are going into this time of virtual learning with all of our students. So we have muted all of your microphones just for the sake of the logistics with the webinar. And so please, please, please use your chat, open your chat, and you can type in any questions or comments or help each other. I know in chat sometimes people are helping each other in chat, which is wonderful. You can turn your video on and off, that's up to you. And we'll be recording this just so that you know for future reference, and we'll put that on our CISA 2 website so that you have access. You can go through this on your own pace at your own time, another time as well. So I will be sharing my screen throughout this presentation today, and we talked about our chat already. And at some point, I'm hoping that we break out into smaller rooms and start talking about how we can use the screen capture tools that we'll be talking about today. I shared a collaborative doc, and I'm going to go back up to that. As we break out into our groups, we'll definitely use that. And I want you to have that for resources. I just added some resources on there for you. And you can easily just add that to your Google Drive and have that for future reference. So let's go back up here. I just want to refer again to this document. If you haven't opened it yet, please do so.
There's a link in the chat for it as well.
Thank you, Val. So bit.ly/cast CISA 2, and we'll get going. Got to move around my Zoom windows here. So I always like to start with the why, of course. So why would we even use a screencast compared to using something like Zoom or other tools? So a screencast really is something that you can record and students can use it at any time. Just like what we're doing right now is creating a recording, and you can go back and use that type of learning anytime, anywhere. And that's called asynchronous learning. And that's what I love. So if you were explaining some kind of content, let's say that you have a presentation that you typically deliver to your class in a lecture style or even a seminar, you can actually use the screencasting tools to capture your voice. It's really important right now that we are considering any human factor that we can. And so students like to hear your voice. So sure, there are other screencasts out there. Khan Academy is the biggest repository for math screencasts, but students really like to hear their teachers' voices and see their faces if possible. And screencasts allow for both of those. You also can explain any type of visual, any kind of instructions if you're talking through something. Those of you who are aware of UDL, or Universal Design for Learning, I love screencasts. Not only are you adding, so let's say that you are typing out instructions for something, I love having the option of doing a screencast to talk about those instructions or directions, because it adds that context that sometimes students don't get if they're just reading it on their own. Also, administrators, if we have any leaders on the line, I have actually done screencasts of meetings. So I'll create an agenda, and all of a sudden, like right now, we can't actually meet face to face, I'll actually do a screencast of the agenda. So again, adding that context to all of the materials for the agenda. And then also students can use this too. They can explain their thinking. Now, Flipgrid is another great one where students can talk about their thinking and have online discussions. But a screencast is a little different because you're actually seeing the screen, and students can talk about, this is what I did first, this is what I did second, compared to Flipgrid where it's more face-to-face contact. So they actually can talk about their learning using the screencast. And then of course that human connection is so important. So today we are going to take a look at 4 different platforms for you. The first one is Screencastify. That is actually my favorite, but I want you to have some others in your back pocket just in case. There are a lot of people getting online right now, and actually Screencastify had a little glitch last week and they fixed it, but because there's so much online learning right now, the capacity, they're getting full. Not full, I mean they're actually growing in their own capacity, but I also want you to have other options just so that you know. So,
And Beth, as you think about Screencastify, there's a question in the group that is there a free version and a full version? And somebody's asking that they are limited to 5 minutes per recording, and is there a way around that?
yeah, so Screencastify is typically, if you don't have the pro version, 5 minutes, just like we said. But I believe they lifted that. And so you should be able to go as long as you want. But best practice is that you don't want to have a super long video because kids will lose their attention. But I realize that sometimes you have to go for 5 minutes. But I believe that Screencastify has lifted that. Loom, there is no limit, and that's why I want you to know Loom too. So they also lifted the I believe they had a certain amount of videos as well. I use the pro version, so I get kind of lost in the basic and the pro of Screencastify. But I believe they lifted the amount of videos as well. So I think both Screencastify and Loom will give you unlimited access at this point. Any other questions, Val, before we get into it?
No, but thanks to Emily, she posted the code in the chat room. It's cast_COVID. She says she hasn't tried it, but that's the code that she was given.
Beautiful. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate that. So all of you can see up here on my Chrome bar all of my extensions. So Screencastify is an extension that you can add to your Chrome browser. And the reason that I love Screencastify and Loom and Awesome Screenshot is because it is so easy to access. So what you would do is you would go to, all I do, let's see what they say. Screencastify, I just put in a search, and then you will get, you will go right to the Chrome Web Store, and then this here will say install or add to Chrome. That's all you do is click on that, and you're automatically in well, not in, but you have access to Screencastify right up here. These little icons are your extensions. So once you have that and you add it, it will ask you actually if you want to connect through Google. I always connect through Google, and you'll see why as we get going. So here's Screencastify. If I click on this, a little menu will pop up. Excuse me. With that menu, you will see some options. Do you want to just screencast your browser tab? That means that if you have any links in anything you're talking about, so let's say that you are creating a presentation or you have a slide deck. You're going through that slide deck, and in that slide deck, you actually have a link that goes out to a website. If that is the case, you want to capture using the desktop. If you are just showing your presentation or just one tab and you're not leaving that tab for any reason, you can just click on the browser tab. The nice thing about the browser tab is that you don't get all this garbage up on top. They're just seeing what's on that one tab. And then the other option is to, I'm going to just click this off for a minute. The other option, let's get that back up, is to just have your webcam captured. That is when you are just talking to your students. It's just capturing you and you're just saying hello, you're sending a morning message, anything like that. You can do a quick webcam capture as well. Today I'm just going to show you the desktop. That's typically what I do because I want people to see my whole desktop. Right here, you have the option for selecting your microphone. This is really important that you're seeing this little green up and down. That's your microphone test. And then the other thing is embedding webcam. So a lot of teachers in the past have been like, I don't want my picture on there, and that's fine. But what I am suggesting at this time of all of our lives is that we actually do add our picture and we add the webcam in the bottom. And the reason that we want to encourage you to do that is because of that human factor and that your students really need to see you. So there are some more options here that you can see. I love this countdown, so I keep that on. The countdown just gives you the 3, 2, 1, and then you start recording, so it gives you that, heads up. And then here, if you want to use the drawing tools, and I'll show you what those are, so I'm going to keep those on. If you don't want those on, you can actually slide them off. So we are ready to record. That is it right here. These are your options. So if I click on record, because I'm doing my entire screen, I need to select this and I click on share. On the bottom, it's going to have a little share option. So right now I am recording. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here today. We are going to be talking about Screencastify, blah, blah, blah. And I can keep going on and talking, but I won't. So then I'm going to stop my share. Oops, I stopped hang on a second. I actually stopped my Zoom share. Hang on. Let me get you back up. There's too many sharing options here. All right, let me see what's happening. Can you all see now? Here we go. You can see now that I have my screencast up here. This is the title of what I just recorded. And then it's saving right to my drive. This is why I connect to the drive. Val, can you all see what I have up right now?
Well, right now I see a picture of your friend Valerie in the screen.
Okay, perfect. So that is what I captured, Valerie, and it's saving to my drive. Now, what I want you to notice here is that on the right side, you're going to get this menu. So on the menu, you'll be able to copy a shareable link right away. So that link is what you can put into your classroom if you want. You can put into your LMS if you're using Schoology, Canvas, whatever you're using to share. If you're using a website, or if you are using what else was I thinking? A website or email. Now, right here, when I talk about a website, you can also embed code. So those of you who are putting things on a website and you want to have this video that is up all the time, you can embed it into your website here. Those of you who are using Classroom, I love this option right here. You can share it right to your classroom and it will pop up all of your classrooms, and you can choose which classroom you want to share it to and how you want to share it. So if you wanted to share it as an assignment, if you wanted to share it as material, and then you can add your topic and all good stuff in Classroom. You can also publish to YouTube. So if you wanted to add closed captioning to it, you can publish this in YouTube, and then you can add that closed captioning in YouTube if you're interested in that as well. Now further
And so,
down,
Beth, do you know, does it also go to Seesaw? There's a question in the chat.
oh, absolutely, you can't, it doesn't automatically. So we don't have that option yet. You can see here, you can generate a QR code and send an email. It does not automatically interface with Seesaw, but you certainly can copy that shareable link and put it in your Seesaw communications. So these are all the ways that you can share it. You also can download this as well. So those of you who want to actually download the video for any reason, and here you can export the audio too. Some people who are working with audio and closed captioning may want that. This, you got to check out this, and export an animated GIF. So I was playing with that actually last night because that's a new function, and I haven't quite figured that out. So if you guys figure that out, you have to email me with your animated GIF. So those are the options on the side. You can see that it's still loading my video. It does take a little bit to load, but let's take a look at what you can do with the video. Now, I have the pro version, so I can actually open it up in my, in my editor. It's saying not yet. Here, I'm going to close this up. Let me show you something as we're waiting. I want you to check out this dashboard. I just clicked. Once your recording is done, it will actually show you this dashboard. And these are all of my recordings. So you can see that I really do love Screencastify. And what it does is it creates a folder in your Google Docs. So, or in your Drive. So in your Drive, you will find a folder called Screencastify, and that's where you will find all of these. So you could open up old videos, you can edit your videos, and you can delete your videos right here. You can preview your videos. All of that good stuff is right here in your repository of videos. So once your video is recorded, it will drop right in here. I can delete all of these at one time. So if I'm done with them, I don't need them anymore. I probably should do some cleaning. This side over here gives you more options. So as I'm in my dashboard, I have more options. I can check out all my recordings right there. I just wanted to show you a couple things in this option bar right here. So in this part, this is what I think is important, is that where should you save your videos? And the first place that you should save them is in your Google Drive. So you can actually save them on your device, but if you're using a Chromebook or anything that you are concerned about memory issues, just save them right on your drive. Or if you don't have Google, this is where you could save your videos. All the rest of these I kind of just keep as defaults, just so that you know I don't really, I haven't changed any of these. And so you will see, you can go ahead and take a look at some of these to see if you want them on and off, but the default typically works well for me. So I haven't really changed much in there, just so you know. So I'm firing up the editor here. Some of you may have this option to edit your video. What I like about this is that you can actually take apart your video. So like, let's say that your video, first of all, I should tell you that when you are recording yourself, don't think in your mind of perfection, I guess. Just think of just delivering it how you would deliver it, right? A lot of times, and this has been myself as well. Like I'll record and then I'll record again and then I'll record again and I'll record again. But really the students just want to see you, they want to hear you. So be as natural as you want. If you want to edit out your ums and make it more professional, you certainly can do that in the editor. So down here you will see that I have my video on my timeline here, and I can move this. Do you see this line right here? This is my recording head, they call that. And wherever I move it, I can take the scissors and cut. And did you notice now what happened with my video is that it became in sections. Now I haven't deleted anything, so if I were to start this and play it,
these tools as well. Your recording, you don't have to have.
you can see my recording
So
head
I'm
is just
recording
cruising.
right now. I'm talking about. So let's take a look at.
Never like to hear yourself, right? Anyway, so if I wanted to get rid of something, I put my recording head right here. I can cut, and I'm going to listen to this portion one more time, make sure that this is what I want to delete.
Versus I want all of my students to go into this.
Okay, so this is where this is what I want to delete. I can just select it. You can see there's a blue bar around it, and I hit delete. All right. Now I also can crop. So if I just want to crop the front part of my video, I can do that. Did you see what I just did? I'm going to reset. Like, let's just say in the beginning, you want to just take out some of the recording you don't need. I click on crop. I pull this forward, and it will crop the video. Now, if you still want that part of the video, you can always reset. And then click on done. You can also add text to yours. So if you wanted to do some kind of closed captioning yourself or just add context, you can add text to it. Help with videos. I don't even know where I put that, but it's in here somewhere. So that's the editing tool. It's pretty simple. And you can save your video to the drive. I'm going to call it test 2, and now it's saved. All right, Valerie, how are we doing in the chat?
So we're doing well. There were some questions about adding closed captioning through the program.
Mm-hmm.
And there were also some questions about translation in YouTube. So some sort of post-production questions.
Okay.
And we replied to those in the chat. So I shared the link for the translation in YouTube, and it will do the closed caption translation. There are also some questions about the discount, and we're trying to figure that out. It looks like it is done by school. So Emily is investigating that furiously as we're learning, and so she's shared the link, and it says to have the school technology coordinator ask about the discount.
Mm-hmm. And I saw on Twitter with that they're pretty quick, and that they'll give free accounts for all teachers and students. But I think you're right; it does need to go through the district. So.
And yeah,
ahead.
I think so too. And then the other question, oh, now we're getting a couple more. Is there a way to add closed captioning through the program?
There is not at this time.
I did find a really cool tool the other day. It is called otter.ai.
Mm-hmm.
And you can translate up to 600 minutes for free of voice or video, and it will send you very quickly and pretty accurately your text. So I would encourage you to check that one out.
And so, Val, can I ask a question with that? Is there is that where we would download the audio only, upload it here, and it would do the closed captioning? or is it the video that you would send over
So
here?
you could do either. If you send the video or an audio file, it will generate the transcript for you. And then when you pop it into YouTube, you'd have to add the closed captioning with the text. The trick, of course, is going to be aligning the video with the text. So you might need to do a little bit of editing, but it will at least give you the transcribed text.
Okay, got it.
And then a couple more questions.
Right.
So if the dot cam is showing on the screen, would that be in the video?
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then just some questions about how to use it. So we have a teacher who's doing a lot of team teaching, and I think we're going to get into some of the applications of how and where you might use it. But if
Yes.
anybody in the chat room is team teaching and using Screencastify, please feel free to share with how you're using it. And is there a time limit on the video? Currently it's 5 minutes, but we are looking at, apparently they're offering for schools an extended version. And I think that's all. Thanks, Beth.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. So I just opened up something called Ziteboard. This is just a whiteboard app, something that you can, it's ziteboard.com, simple to get into. And there's another one called awapp.com. I'm thinking about math teachers and math students who are trying to show their work and explain their work. Those students and teachers who have touch screens, this is very easy to use, and they can use their finger or stylus and do their work and actually be capturing their voice as they're talking about their project or their problem as well. So I just brought that up. One thing that I wanted to show you too is in Screencastify, I didn't really talk about ending your, because I stopped the share and then I think I bumped you out. So let me just quick do a fast recording again. So I'm just going to click on record share. And so you can see the stop sharing on the bottom here. The other thing I didn't show you are the drawing tools on the left side. So these are your drawing tools. You can use the ones in Screencastify. Obviously, I'm on Ziteboard too, so I could use those options as well. But you can see that if I was on top of this document here, let's go to screencasting. Oops. Now I took away my drawing tools. Well, you can actually annotate on top of other, whatever you're doing, you can annotate on top. I can erase. I can actually take off my webcam at the bottom with this tool. I can pause my recording down here, and I can actually stop it here as well. So I can stop sharing, that will stop my recording, and I can stop recording right here as well. And then it's going to automatically start recording and saving on my Google Drive. So I'm going to close this because I don't want it. Actually, I can delete it right here. Nope, I don't want this. I'm going to close it. And then I can just close out this tab. So that is really Screencastify in a nutshell. And it's so easy to use. I love that it interfaces with Google Drive and that I can go find it at any time. I can click on this little arrow and get to all of my recordings. It's very easy to use and user-friendly. But the second one that I want you just to have in your back pocket is Loom. Loom for Chrome is just like Screencastify. There's a couple different settings we'll take a look at. You get a circle instead of a square, as you can see that on the bottom of my screen. And you may like this one better. It's totally up to you. There's no limit. It's wide open. You can record as long as you need to. And same type of setting that pops up. Now, before I get into the settings, I want you to know, how do you get to Loom? It's the same way that we got to Screencastify. All you have to do is type in Loom screencasting, or you can go to the Chrome Web Store. Under extensions, you'll find Loom. You add it to your Chrome browser, and you get this little extension up here called Loom. So with Loom, the same kind of settings you'll see. What do you want to record? Full desktop or current tab. And then here's your microphone. You'll see some advanced settings. Again, this one I really, this is the option that I like on Loom too, is that if you have any text in your background, you can flip your camera. So you're gonna see, oh, of course it's not letting me flip my camera right now because I'm recording in front of all of you. That's just the way technology works, right? Actually, it will work for you. So if you flip your camera, it was working before when I was on here, it will flip so that, or maybe it is, I don't know, whatever. So check that out. And then you can check your microphone, of course. Use photo for screen only, and then your control menu if you want that, and then the recording countdown. I leave all of this up as the default. I don't change any of that, just so that you know, and then you can start recording. I'm going to do the desktop again, and I can share. It gives me the countdown. And now I am in Loom. So I can use my Whiteboard. Well, what am I drawing? Nothing. Looks kind of like a heart monitor or something like that. But you can, if you have a touch screen, this is fantastic. But actually, you can use any of the functions that you have, record, and go on and on.
So Beth, there's just a couple of questions.
Sure.
First of all, your EKG looks very healthy, so congrats on that.
Thank goodness, thank you.
There's a question, so can students use the whiteboard, or is that just the host?
So in this situation, because I am recording and this is asynchronous, it's not like I am actually interfacing with students right now. I'm recording to give this to students. We would not have students involved in this application. If you wanted to use a whiteboard with students collaboratively, you actually could. Whiteboard, you could send out a link. It's collaborative, and app also is that collaborative whiteboard. You can send a link and everybody can be in the whiteboard at the same time. The second way to have a collaborative whiteboard is to use Zoom, and you can share a whiteboard and they can annotate there as well. So with that aside, what I want you to know though is that if you show students, and this might not be right now because we are really in the taking care of ourselves mode, but eventually, if you want to show students how to use Screencastify or Loom, either one of these, they can record themselves doing whatever work they're doing on a whiteboard, and then they can send you that link so that you have that. Now, I'm thinking that would be probably, I have had kids, well, second grade using Screencastify and showing their work and recording it. So I would say that would be something down the line, nothing that is happening next week or maybe the week after. But as students start getting comfortable using some of the online tools that you already use, this certainly is an option.
And then there's just some questions in the chat. So teachers are thinking about how they could use this to maybe read a story to their students.
Yes.
So how could they have themselves reading and maybe also an image of the book that they're reading? And that would require an external camera. Can you just talk through how they might be able to do that?
So I'm just trying to think, because this, let me just, you guys, I just want to stop this recording or else we're going to have this long recording on Loom. So I just want you to see these down here on the bottom. You can cancel the recording, pause it. I'm going to, oops. I think I just canceled it. And that's not really what I wanted to do, but that's okay. Let's talk about the reading part to students. So I am going to do cam only and start recording. It's thinking right now, I believe. There we go. Hi everyone, today I'm going to read X, Y, and Z to you. And this will be a great time for us to think about our fluency, blah, 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 blah. And then I can hit copied to write. It goes automatically. What I want you to know about Loom is that it automatically copies the URL to the clipboard. So then you can paste it anywhere, this video. As far as reading an external camera, I'm just thinking about, you certainly could read to this and show them the book and have it in front and do the screencast. I wonder if Zoom, I've seen a couple of setups. I wonder if the Zoom application and recording yourself in a meeting without anybody there would be a wise tool to use as far as recording yourself reading a book. The other option, I think another best tool for that would be Flipgrid. I don't know how many of you have used Flipgrid. That's another tool that we can take a look at in these tech power hours. But Flipgrid, I think, would be a better tool because you know, it's recording you, you have it right here, you can add stickers and fun things. I've also seen some posts in the Teaching During COVID-19 Facebook page where they've actually set up, and I've got to think more about this, but they've set up their Zoom and then they also have their phone connecting to the Zoom meeting, so they're a participant. And so it's kind of like this external, what do I want to say, dock camera, if we want to call it a dock camera. But I can't really show you or explain, but look it up, you guys. There's a post out there where people are talking about they're creating these dock cameras at home. So let's take a look at this. So Zoom, this is the Loom platform after it records your video. You can see here that it was recording me. It looks like I'm taking a little nap right now, but I can copy the link right here in the dashboard. And then also I can go down to link sharing right here. I can choose if I want anybody to see this video or if I just want to keep it private and share my link to whoever I want. The other piece that Loom has that I want you to know is that you can add a password to your video. So only those folks who have the password can get into your video when you share it. So that's totally up to you too. I want you to know that Screencastify and Loom both are FERPA and COPA compliant. So when you are sharing any of your videos, or if students are sharing or creating these screencasts, that it is safe. It's not taking any of their data or your data for that matter. So the thing that I like about Loom too, just to keep in mind, is right here you can edit your video. So you don't need a pro version. You don't need to go and ask for you know, permission for your tech director to get all these accounts. Loom is ready for you to edit. So if you go right here, you can click on trim your video and you have settings right here, start trimming. And you, what I like about this too is that you can get very detailed in your trimming. So you can move it with the settings below, or you can click and drag it too. So let's say that I'm not happy with all of my ums and what I'm doing. Oh, my hand is up. I've got to get rid of that. I can click on remove. Once it's trimmed, you can publish the changes or you can listen to it first. Obviously, listen and make sure that's what you want. I'm going to start trimming again. Maybe I want to trim this area. And I'm going to remove, and I'm going to publish those changes. Easy peasy. So the other thing too in Loom is that you have a dashboard that has folders on it. So let's say that, let's go to, I have 2 folders that I put in my dashboard. I can get to my dashboard right up here. So my videos. So after it's done recording, you'll be able to go to my videos up on top, and you can see here, I have created some videos. Here are the folders that I have created. So it doesn't go to your Google Drive per se, but it creates its own little repository for you. The other thing that I like, you guys, is that you can actually have a team folder. So let's say that you and your grade level team are sharing the responsibility of creating these different instructional videos. You can have a shared folder. That's what this one is. And you can share this out to different folks. Let's see if I click on, let me go back. I can create a new folder and then share the new folder, whoops, out to whoever's going to be a part of that folder.
And can we pause for just a couple of questions, Beth?
You bet. Let's do it.
Excellent. So there was just one question about combining videos together. So if a teacher has some screencasting videos and wants to put them together in one video, can you suggest video editing software that she might use?
Well, I think that WeVideo right now is open for education. So check out WeVideo. I think that that would be a good one. I use iMovie myself, but I'm wondering how, have I seen an option where we can do that in here? I have not.
Oh, you're right. WeVideo is free right now, and it's just, let's see the URL. I'll pop it in.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. I use the tool called Camtasia. It's unfortunately not inexpensive, but it's a great tool as well. And then there's just some questions about, it's a little bit of a segue, about office hours and how they're doing that live. And I don't know if we want to talk through that, but it sort of came from the conversation about synchronous versus asynchronous. So we did hold a session on Zoom and Google Meet for some sort of office hours. And those would be some tools. And Beth, you have some other ideas for them?
Yeah, I would say this is not a tool for office hours because you are recording your screen and you're giving a link to them for access at any time. Office hours would be more of that synchronous time, which is what we're having right now on Zoom. So I would say either Google Meet. I don't know what your district has decided as a platform for video conferencing, but Google Meet or Zoom. I'm actually doing office hours myself from 1 to 2 every day using Zoom as well. So if any of you are interested, I can give you that link if you want to jump in. So yeah, it would be synchronous tools for that. And like I said, Thursday and Friday we're doing Zoom. So Thursday, it's going to be more of, you've used Zoom before, now how do I use it as an instructional tool? And then on Friday, it's more of the beginning, like 101 of Zoom. So if you haven't used that tool yet, join us on Friday and we'll get you going in Zoom. So I am not going to, because I'm looking at the time right now and it is 11:45. What I want us to do is just take a look at Awesome Screen, excuse me, Awesome Screen Shot. And it's this little icon right here. It looks like a little camera. And the reason that I want you to see this is because those of you who are not interested in doing video but would rather do some screen shots, this is a real easy way. Now, a lot of computers, like if you're a window-based, you have the snipping tool. If you are a Mac, you use the command Shift 5, 4, whatever one you want to use. What I like about this tool, though, that is quick and easy, is that if I click on this, I get this these options here to click on the entire page or part of it. I can capture the whole desktop. I can actually do a screen recording, but I don't suggest it in this tool, you guys, because you only get a certain amount of time. Just don't do it. Use the other two options. But what I'm going to do is select, let's do select a certain area. And what I can do is do a grab real quick of that area and capture. But my favorite part of this tool is that I get to annotate on top of it right away. So if you're like, okay, here's this part, students, but I really want you to take a look at, let's take a look at this. And I can add text on here if I want to, like, not in green though. Let's change the color because they won't see that. Hey, come on. Hey, look at this. Well, I better check my spelling. And so you can add text and annotate real quick. You can highlight over areas. This blur option, I don't know why you would use it, but there's a blur option there. Maybe you guys can think about it. This tool right here we use quite often, and that is just circle certain areas like, hey, check out digital leadership. And then you can write on here as well. In this option, you can do these things too. You can crop this. So if you decide, well, this, I don't really care for what I clipped, I want to crop it up a little bit more, you can do that too. Take a look at that. Crop. So, and then here's your thickness of your tools. So you can change the color, the thickness. These are pro tools right here. Just ignore those. You guys don't need those right now. We're going free with our options. So you can undo, which is great. So if you put something on there, you don't want it anymore. And you can delete this if you aren't interested. This is how quick you can annotate on top of a screen capture. Then I click on done. And these are my options here. I can connect with other services, which we probably won't do that, but I can save it to my drive right away. The other thing you can do is you can upload a shareable link to this, but I'll tell you, this is what I do all the time. I right click on it, I copy this image, and then I go back to whatever I'm working on. So let's say that I'm creating a presentation, or I want you guys to, let's see, I want you to see this in a document, just some instructions in the top that will help. I just paste it right into whatever I'm working on. And now it's annotated. Isn't that awesome? That's why they call it Awesome Screenshot. Look at how excited I am. It's awesome. I love it.
Can you highlight in Awesome Screen?
Yes, you can. There's a highlight tool, and I didn't use it. But you guys, I want you to practice with these. And I'll show you that highlight tool in just a second. But I also want you to notice that if you go to select local image, you can actually bring up a picture that you saved on your computer. So, and you can annotate on top of it. I just want you to know that's an option in here as well. So let's just quick do the highlighting. Okay. So here we are. This is the highlight tool. Let's highlight in yellow, and I can go across it. It is, you are painting, so it's not like connecting. I don't know if any of you use Cami, but it kind of connects to the text and it makes it nice. Here you kind of are painting across, so let's use green. Oh, I used white. That's not going to highlight very well. Oh, let's delete that. There we go. So that is the highlight tool. What do? I usually copy this and paste, but remember you can use any of these options here.
Great. And
It is so awesome.
It is very awesome. There's a question, is Awesome Table related? I'm not familiar with that tool.
No, Awesome Table is not related to this at all. Awesome Table is it's actually a function with Google Sheets, and it creates these awesome tables that can be embedded into websites. But no, they're all awesome in their own way, but this is an awesome screenshot, so a little bit different. So we have about 10 minutes, if that. And what I was thinking is I'd love to get you into some breakout groups, because I want you to talk about, let's see, I have 12 here. I want you to talk about how you can use these and kind of share some ideas. Remember, this document right here is for you to share and have, so add it to your, go ahead and add it to your Google Drive. But I think if we can do a capture of what everybody is thinking, kind of do collective thinking together on how we could use this. So I'm going to break you up into groups, and your groups will have numbers. You're going to see these numbers. So right now I'm modeling Zoom with you of how you can actually go out into breakout groups. We'll take 5 minutes. This is your task when you're in your breakout group. I would really like you to brainstorm some ideas of how you could use any of these capture tools. I didn't show you Screencast-O-Matic. That's okay. That's for another day. Take a look at that. I would say stick with Screencastify and with Loom right now, because they're the easiest Chrome extensions to use. And Screencast-O-Matic is not an extension, just so you know. All right, so your deal is to come up with ideas. If you have questions or needs, you can put them in the right column. I need one person from each group to be the scribe. So one person to type, everybody else is populating ideas. Are we ready? Let's do this thing. All right. I'm going to put you in, oh, they're going to be quite big groups, but that's okay because I only have 12 up here. You can have up to 50 breakout rooms, just so that you know that in Zoom. We'll talk more about that this week.
And just FYI, the link for the document is reposted in the chat room.
Thank you for that. I'm automatically going to send you out. You're going to get a little pop-up that says join the breakout room, whatever number you are, and then it will take you there. Here we go, everybody. Thank you so much for all of the participation during the breakout session. This is really helpful. I see some great ideas. I know we're past our hour. One thing I want to tell all of you is that it seems like I didn't do my job in showing you when you actually create the video and it populates the link to the video. That's what you're going to be sharing on Google Classroom or whatever you have. Of course, this happens now. And you will be able to then have the kids click on that link, and they're going to see you talking through things, or just see you. If you just capture yourself, they'll see you explaining something. So it's the video that they will be engaging in. And remember, when you are posting things out, kids can actually access that anytime. So let's say that you're preparing for next week and you're trying to get some things together. You are going to create a video explaining something, whatever you want to explain, and then that video is going to be posted wherever you're communicating with your students. So if you're communicating on, like I said, Google Classroom, whatever, through email, then that will go to their wherever they're picking it up, Google Classroom, and they'll click on it when it's an appropriate time for them. Let's say that you're creating a schedule, Lord, and you're creating some kind of schedule, and at 10 o'clock they're going to engage in some kind of reading activities. They may then click on that video explaining the reading activities that you've created for them at that point. So that is how you would use your videos. You would embed them, the video recording, into however you're sharing and communicating with your students, and then they'll click on that and see you, sunshine, and connect with you. So thank you so much, everybody, for participating. I want you to know that on the bottom of this, there's some great ideas on here. I'm so excited. Will Screencastify work? Yes. Yes, it will. Um, I want you to know, and I will answer these questions as well, so keep this document up. You will find the recordings here to any of our webinars, and hopefully this week, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be doing Google Classroom and then Zoom for instruction and learning on Thursday and Friday. We'll be doing Zoom 101. Thank you to Val for fielding all of the chat. Val, is there anything before we go?
Yeah, just one question. When are your virtual office hours and how do they sign up for that?
Let me do this, you guys, because I don't want to keep anybody on here. I'm going to add, it's from 1 to 2 every day this week, and I will add the room. It's actually just my name, but I will add the Zoom room on this document on the bottom. So stay tuned for that. I'll get that on here in just a second when we're done. And by the way, it was so great when you guys broke out into rooms. I was able to see who was on with us. And I'm just so thankful that you took your time today to be with us. I want to make sure that you see this. You're the best, and I really mean that. I think teachers are just amazing people, and I'm so blessed to have this time with you today. See you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.